When you pop a piece of gum into your mouth, you probably don't think much about where it came from. But this everyday item is the anchor of a multi-billion-dollar global empire, born in a jungle and built by accident. To find the real source of this chewy phenomenon, we have to travel away from modern factories and back to the ancient Mesoamerican rainforests. Long before artificial flavors existed, the original chewing gum was pulled directly from the bark of trees. The Mayans and Aztecs figured out how to extract a natural, milky resin called chicle from the Sapodilla tree. By carefully scoring the bark in a diagonal pattern, they could collect the sap without killing the tree itself. They boiled this sap down into a chewable, biodegradable material. It was a functional tool, chewed by travelers to quench their thirst on long journeys, and used as a natural way to maintain oral hygiene. For centuries, this practice existed as a balanced, isolated system. But that localized, closed-loop system was operating on borrowed time. Once the industrialized world realized what this unique tree sap could do, mass production began to outpace the forest's ability to recover. The catalyst for that global expansion arrived in New York City during the 1860s. This is General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, the former Mexican dictator famous for the Alamo, now living in exile on Staten Island. Santa Anna was looking for a way to fund an army and reclaim his power in Mexico. As his ticket back to the top, he brought a massive stockpile of Mayan chicle with him to the United States. He pitched an idea to a local inventor named Thomas Adams. Santa Anna believed the sticky tree sap could be used as a cheap, abundant substitute for the expensive rubber used in carriage tires. It's a strange historical irony. The foundation of the modern chewing gum industry was built on a deposed military leader's failed attempt to manufacture cheap vehicle parts. Adams and his son spent a year trying to vulcanize the chicle. They tried molding it into tires, durable rain boots, and even toys. Every single experiment was a complete failure. Looking at this side-by-side molecular model, we see why. Natural chicle is made of short, weak, disconnected bonds. It cannot form the strong, cross-linked grid structure that gives vulcanized rubber its high tensile strength, so the material shredded under pressure. Seeing his investment crumbling, Santa Anna abandoned the project entirely, leaving Adams with a warehouse full of useless sap. But Adams remembered that Santa Anna used to chew on the raw chicle to pass the time. He took the remaining rubber inventory, boiled it, rolled it out, and offered it to a local drugstore as Adams' New York gum. It sold out in hours. The exact molecular limitation that made chicle useless for heavy industry is what made it the perfect, malleable consumer product. Adams had accidentally discovered a new market. Innovation moved quickly. Adams added licorice extract to create blackjack, the first flavored gum sold in sticks. Soon after, the company wrapped the gum in a hard sugar shell, creating the white squares known as chiclets. To reach a mass audience, Adams turned to the New York City subway system. In 1888, he installed the first vending machines in America, offering Tutti Frutti gum to waiting passengers for a single penny. Then came William Wrigley, Jr., who used aggressive marketing to normalize gum chewing as a daily habit. He framed the product as a way to relieve stress and aid digestion, turning it into a genuine household staple. During World War II, chewing gum became a global phenomenon. The military included it in daily ration kits to manage jaw tension and dental hygiene. American GIs traded and shared their rations across Europe and Asia, spreading the habit worldwide. By the 1920s, Americans were chewing over 100 sticks a year. That massive consumer demand pushed the delicate Sapodilla forests of Mexico and Central America completely past their natural breaking point. Over-harvesting to increase yields killed roughly a quarter of Mexico's Sapodilla trees by the mid-1930s. An industry built on a slow-growing natural resource had finally outpaced its own supply. To survive, the companies had to find a way to make gum without using the forest at all. By the mid-20th century, the industry shifted production from the jungle to the chemistry lab. This allowed manufacturers to protect their profit margins and bypass the collapsing supply of natural chicle. This transition replaced organic tree sap with synthetic polymers. Chewing gum was no longer an agricultural product. It was now a branch of the industrial plastics and artificial rubber industry. This pipeline illustrates the modern result. Most gum is based on polyisobutylene, a petroleum-derived chemical mimicking natural tree sap. This provided a reliable, mass-producible supply chain unrestricted by forest regeneration. By the 1980s, the U.S. completely stopped importing Mexican chicle. But solving one environmental problem created another. By replacing a biodegradable resin with a synthetic polymer, the industry traded a deforestation crisis for a permanent microplastic pollution crisis. Today, the cycle is turning again. A new generation of consumers is looking for alternatives to synthetic plastics in their food, and that's causing a shift back to the product's origins. Modern sustainable gum brands are moving away from chemical laboratories and returning directly to the ancient Mesoamerican jungles. This is reviving the traditional livelihoods of the Chicleros. They are once again scaling Sapodilla trees and harvesting resin using the same sustainable techniques the Mayans used over 1,000 years ago. So the next time you pick up a pack of gum, look at the ingredients. You are making a choice between a piece of synthetic plastic and the resin that built and then broke a global industry. The story of gum shows that the answer to modern pollution isn't always found in a new chemical compound. Sometimes it's found in the same Sapodilla trees that worked perfectly for centuries.
Subscribe to us for more such videos.